Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so walking to the Hollywood side of town, enjoying my day to the best of my ability. Still having issues with my diet and dietary issues, stomach issues, stuff like that. Still being very prevalent. But I figured I'd get out the house, not allow myself to rest today. I did enough resting, and I got some things I gotta buy as usual. So figured I'd get myself some walk in, maybe climb the hill over in Hollywood, do that thing, see if that gets me where I need to go. But I threw out the turkey that I was eating just in case that was what was causing the issue, although I have no idea really. But usually when I switch up what I'm eating, those issues go away. So we'll give that a shot here. But I also, as I said yesterday, think that my stomach crunches and my ab workouts may not be necessarily positive for me right now. If what I got going on is in my stomach, that might be something that's not bringing about a good thing for me. So I don't know, man. Just gonna walk it out as I always do. Continue to just pace along. I found a couple of hotels that also may be good for me to use instead of the one that I've been going to these last two times. Two of them in Burbank, one by the hotel, by the airport, and another one somewhere down in Studio City as well. That's pretty affordable. So, just looking for other options. Of course, I priced what used to be known as the NoHo Hotel, now known as, I'm actually walking past it now, I'm trying to read the words, Ridgeway, I think is what they call it, Ridgeway. But they didn't raise the prices significantly, and I'm not spending the night there for inflated prices. I know exactly how that building is. I've been spending the night there for a year now, every 3 weeks. So it ain't no way in hell I'm about to hike up the price on that. It's not worth it to me to spend $140 to stay there for one night. That's not real. That's not real, to be honest with you. So yeah, I don't know how that business is going to thrive now that Ridgeway's taking over. But if they don't lower those prices, they're going to lose some of their regulars, because they definitely lost me, man. But it is what it is. Just trying to figure things out so that I'll be on top of what needs to be on top of by the time Wednesday rolls around. I don't have too much to think about. But, I found a new website that has low prices as they search for hotels. It's always a hotel searching website that allows for them to do the hard work for you and give you discounts, stuff like that. So I found a new one and got set up with them. So we'll see if they can put me in somewhere for Wednesday night, and we'll focus on what has happened after that afterwards. But at the end of the day, I don't have too much to complain about. The Lord woke me up this morning, had a pretty good morning for the most part, outside of the issues that I've had with my gut, and slept well, all that stuff, so no complaints. Still did my usual workouts and everything. Nothing's changed, and feel pretty good right now. I don't feel all that bad at all right now. So that's really what it is. But it's one of those things I was thinking about. Like, you just never know what's going to happen in your life. You know what I mean? You never know when the Lord is going to check you out, when He's going to call you. And one thing I want people to understand about me is, if for some reason I end up checking out in any way, shape, or form, something will go wrong, I do not feel neglected by anybody. And I don't want people to think that, oh, where was people? Where were his people? Why weren't they? I kept everybody at a certain distance. I was very comfortable with that. That's how I like to live, and most of the people who know me know that. That's why they stayed away. If I wanted them to be closer and I was reaching out to people so that they'd be closer and then they didn't respond, that's a different story. But I kept people at a distance because that's how comfortable I was, based on how I was wired, or am wired. So that's something that needs to be said, man. Because there's going to be, if something were to happen, people would be like, oh, he was alone. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to be alone. I'm happy being alone. I'm comfortable being alone. I'm safe with being alone. And that's what I've learned, in my life. So the likelihood that something happens and nobody's around is very high, because that's how I live. That's how I want to live, and that's how the people who I love know how to love me. It's to allow me the space to be myself and live alone. So that's what I want people to understand about me. If something were to happen, it's like, I don't feel anybody neglected me during this era of my life. People that I needed to help me helped me. people I need to reach out to spoke to me every time I need to speak. They always answered the phone. If I needed more from them, you know, they would have given it. Just like if they need something from me, I'm happy to give it to them. I didn't have neglect in my life just because I was alone. I wanted to be alone. You know what I mean? And so that's something, if that's important, I wanted to put that on this channel. I don't expect I'll be checking out or anything like that. I'm not, you know, unaliving myself or anything weird like that. I feel very good in the grand scheme of things about my mental and all of that. But you just don't know. Once you start getting 40 years old and start having health problems, the type of health problems I'm having, you really don't know how much time you got. Honestly, that's what it's starting to be for me. You know, everything I eat I'm pretty much allergic to everything. And that's what it really comes down to. My body rejects about everything I eat. No matter how hard I work out, my stomach, it still looks like I have a dad bod. So the way I see it is, it's time to start thinking about these type of things. Because what I try to take care of in eating the way that I do and taking care of myself is making sure that I have a good heart. But if my stomach and my body is looking as if it's ill, even when I'm working out, then if for some reason my body goes the other direction, it can go bad fast, because I'm working against that right now. So that's how I'm looking at it. It's like, yo, if all of my efforts in working out is not really yielding me the results that it should, then that means if I stop working out, my body can go left fast, man. And so that's kind of how I look at it. That's why I'm always walking, always running upstairs, always eating right. Because when I look in the mirror, I see a guy who looks like he eats burgers. You know what I mean? Who looks like he eats pork every morning. And I don't even do that. I don't, you know what I mean? So I think there's something pretty wrong inside of my body right now. And I think it's time to start thinking about what happens if something really goes wrong really quick, you know? And so that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Plus, not only that, but the way that I talk on this channel, the type of conversations I be having, I don't doubt that if the right people hear what I have to say, they ain't gonna want me walking around talking like this no more. That's just what comes with standing up for what's right and standing against the status quo or against the powers that be. You know, people want to commit genocide and feel they're the chosen ones and have control over every damn thing. And I mean, people like that, they're not gonna, as soon as they realize I exist and what it is I'm talking about, they're gonna want me dead. That's the God's honest truth. And I'm not oblivious to that. Nor am I slowing down in regards to holding them accountable for all of that evil stuff they're doing. And so for me, it's like, hey man, if I don't get a full life out of this thing, I got a lot working against me in regards to that, based on how I operate on this channel and what I talk about and how little respect I have for their authority. And most of all, because of how my body's just naturally reacting to just probably old mistakes that I made with my diet. You know, maybe genetic stuff that I don't even know nothing about. Who knows? But, you know, I can tell you that the more I have these issues, the less I feel like I'm going to get 100 years out of this thing. Put it like that. And given the way that I'm wired, that I am alone, you know, that I'm not so quick to go to a doctor, even though I would love to, just can't bring myself to set an appointment that's going to take 2 months in advance to go to 20 miles away just to sit down and have somebody tell me there's something wrong. I already know that. You know what I mean? They're going to tell me to eat right. I'm already doing that. They're going to tell me to exercise. I'm already doing that. They're going to tell me to go under a knife. No. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, do I give myself a chance, really? Probably not. You know, if there's some type of cancer or something. Do I do chemo? I watch what chemo did to my mom. Chemo is what expedited her death. Not to say that people shouldn't take it to help get rid of it, but you're going to microwave your body and all of your organs to get rid of cancer. That microwavable process, if it don't kill the cancer, it's going to kill you. So it's like, you know, if there's something really wrong with me like that, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I know dying without taking chemo is painful when you have some type of cancer. But the chemo is painful too. So, you know, I'll deal with that if it comes my way. But that I've lost so many people to cancer, I have to consider cancer when I'm starting to see some of these issues that I'm having. So, you know what I mean? That's why I wanted to make this video. I know it's morbid, but, you know, I'm at peace. In the way that I live right now, the only thing that I really regret if I were to die today is that I didn't have any kids. Other than that, I'm cool, bro. I didn't really care for too much. As I speak to you right now, I tell you the truth. I never really bought into life that much like that. I really didn't. The way people operate in life and what they aspire for. I need to get money. I need to do this. I need to do that. I really didn't care about most of that stuff, man. I wasn't wired the way that society in this place wanted me to be wired. I didn't care for a lot of that. It wasn't even that deep to me. The way people operate and try to go after their own and step on each other, try to do these elaborate things so that they can be attractive to people that they want. I didn't care about most of that stuff, bro. Throughout the course of my life, from day to day, I didn't care about much of that. I really didn't, man. I just was wired opposite of a lot of people in that way. So if the Lord calls my number, it's like, well, you didn't have nobody, you didn't experience this, you didn't experience that. I didn't care to. I think I had the right type of anxiety and the right type of upbringing to make it so that I just really didn't care to be all that ambitious about certain things that seemed to be normal. I was listening to Jay-Z's homeboy, DeHaven, this morning. He's had a falling out with this guy, and DeHaven's now on like a podcast. He's making his rounds on podcasts, having conversations about his life and stuff like that. And I was watching one of the ones that he was on this morning, and he was talking about the high school that he was at in New Jersey, and how everybody was getting money, and that they didn't get, it was like a culture of selling drugs, and a culture of hustling however they did to make sure they had massive amounts of money before they even got out of high school. I didn't grow up in an environment like that. I really didn't. People weren't hustling like that around me. That's why I wasn't so influenced by the worshiping and the doulaing of money. I didn't care for money like that. I understood the importance of respecting money as I got older, but I tell you, I don't love money like a lot of people in my community do. Capitalism seemed like an inconvenience for me. So you trying to tell me I'm going to spend a little time that I have on this life doing something I don't want to do so someone can hand me some money, but never quite enough for me to do anything that I actually want to do, just enough to keep on coming back getting more money? I didn't buy it. The whole thing was like, I felt above it. For better or for worse, because a lot of what was wrong with me was that I was spoiled and entitled, so that I would want anything, in a lot of cases, was first driven off the idea that I deserved what it is I wanted. And if I wanted to not work, if I wanted to not go after money or inconvenience myself with the task that would otherwise pay me, then that was just more of me being spoiled in my own way. You know what I mean? A lot of that was that for me. Like, I don't want to do any of this crap y'all doing. I don't care for any of this. I'm not wired to do any of that. I don't want to sell any of this. I don't want to put myself in danger. You know what I mean? It's a lot of wants attached to why I chose away from certain things that other people must have. People doing all types of stuff, getting themselves in all types of different things, living all types of different ways, stressing themselves all out so they can get what it is that they need monetarily. That was just an inconvenience to my mentality. I didn't care about any of that. I really didn't. Give me enough of what I need, and I will spend my time, which I value more, the way I want to. That's how I looked at it. And like I said, for better or for worse, there was a lot of reasons why that's not the way to go for a lot of people. It's a lot of environments that you are going to be in life that's going to keep you from actually being that way. You know what I mean? That are going to raise you away from that mentality that I adapted to as I was a young person. As I go older, man, I still haven't really grown out of that. Not really at all. And the more I learn about the world and how it operates, the more I feel like I had it right, and that the world around me kind of had it wrong. And so long as I didn't drag myself down, so to speak, with responsibilities that would require me to inconvenience myself, I was able to kind of skate by. And that's not a great thing, But in the grand scheme of things, you got to find a way away from living for what everybody is telling you should be living for. And you're not enjoying your life. You're not having quality days in life. You're inconveniencing yourself, doing stuff you hate doing, and all you coming home to is an empty home. Like, I didn't care for any of that. I gave the finger to that whole process was nothing to me. And that's what I want people to understand about me. I just rejected the entire process of capitalism as it pertains to me doing stuff I don't want to do, so that someone can give me little green papers of white people's faces. I didn't care about that, bro. I really looked at that like that was just completely beneath me. And so, with that comes not having any money, which, I like having money, but if I have to choose between shoveling snow, for lack of a worse way of putting it, and just kind of budgeting very little of what I have, I was able to have better days, in my opinion, budgeting very little of what I had than I would have had spending 12 hours shoveling snow. That's how I looked at it. A lot of people spend their whole lives to get rich, but they don't enjoy their money because they're too busy working. It's the craziest thing in the world to me. So you're trying to tell me wealth gives you freedom, but wealth also gives you the need to keep getting wealthy, so you have to keep working? What are y'all doing? Billionaires, I gotta get up at 5 a.m, get on the phone with someone I don't want to talk to, make a deal I don't want to make because it's going to yield me more money in the future. It's like, bro, you got enough money to retire on 17 times over, and you're still inconveniencing yourself for these pictures of these old presidents? It just seemed weird to me. And the idea that, if you don't have money, women aren't going to respect you. I don't respect them. If those are the type of women this attracts, I don't want them around me. That was the piece that I had that a good 90% of the people that I was influenced by didn't have. She ain't gonna respect if you don't have money. Bro, if she need money from me, I don't respect her. Hell, I don't need that woman. I'm repelled by snooty energy. You show me that you think you're better than me, and I immediately believe myself to be better than you, off of the strength of that behavior alone. I felt like that was a superpower of mine, to be honest with you. I'm turned off by the stuff people are rushing toward. You want a self-centered individual who wants a handout from you because she has a certain thing between her legs? Oh man, I need that woman far away from me, bro. That's your burden. I've been able to live a peaceful life without that person or anyone like her around me. I'm happier, literally happier without that person around me. But she's pretty. She ain't gonna be for long. But she's beautiful, and she's gonna drag you down. You're gonna spend yourself miserable trying to make that person happy, making yourself guilty so you can fill your pockets with what otherwise provides her respect. All the while she provides you nothing, because if she thinks like that, she don't really have much to offer any damn way. As it pertains to substance, she's probably not going to be that great of a mother, because all she's going to do is raise your child to be just as money hungry as you are, and as she is. And y'all going to be part of the world's problems because you're keeping up the worshiping of money and the putting down of morals. Factoring in all of what should not be placed in place so that the money can be possible. I just always thought that was just where the world got it wrong. I really did, bro. I thought it was where the world got it wrong. Y'all slaves to the idea of getting money, but the more money you get, the more money you need. You never actually enjoy your time in life unless you just love doing what it is that otherwise provides you the money. And even if you love doing what it is that provides you the money, you live in a world where the more money you get, the more you're surrounded by people who worship the money itself. So you have less real friendships, more burdens, more jealousy, more people trying to coerce you into circumstances so they can sue you, so they can extort you. It's like, man, I didn't care about any of that. Also, I can afford a Birkin bag or something for somebody that I don't even think cares about me at all. So I can get some big ass home with a bunch of rooms that ultimately I'm only gonna spend my time in like 2 of them. And then I got people coming in and out of the house, cleaning the house. I'm an introvert. I don't even want the people around me. So why the hell I want them all in my house cleaning all my most personal belongings? Like, get the hell out of here. You see what I'm saying? So like the way I'm wired, I ain't care about a lot of stuff people talking about, bro. I really don't. And then the burden of poverty also wasn't real because I had the privilege of a family and mother who took care of me, who never let me get so far down in the dumps to where I actually had to muck myself around in a space where I must have money or I'm going to experience things that I can't survive. You know what I mean? And so that was also a privilege that most people who don't get, and it doesn't allow them an opportunity to not worship money because they more so aren't worshiping money, is they're worshiping the idea of not finding themselves in poverty. You know what I mean? So I respect that heavily. And the older I get and the more circumstances I find in this nature, the more I realize how wrong I had it in that regard. I respect that. But I'm not telling y'all it was right or wrong necessarily. I'm not expressing that I agreed with my sentiment. I'm just telling you what wired me up to being this way I am right now. How I got to this point in the first place. It was being repelled by the notion that I got to inconvenience myself with tasks that are not wired from my head so that somebody can give me pictures of people that they say is worth a lot. I don't care about none of that. Like, burn them pictures. I don't care nothing about them pictures. And people were slave owners. Literally, bro. And people sold my people for that money. They sold themselves for that money. And I'm supposed to keep that culture going with my own intentions because I fear the poverty that they force us into by way of that same selfishness? Nah, it never made any sense to me. It never made any sense to me. So that's what I want to tell people. I want people to understand that I thought for myself a lot of the time, and whether I came up with the right ideas or not, it kept me away from stuff that everybody was drawn toward. A lot of cases, drawn toward this. I gotta do this. I want to do that. No, the only thing that was constant is that time was going to be wasted. Whether you're doing something that you love to do or doing something that you hated to do so that you can get money, you get all the money in the world. You still look in the mirror. You're aging. You still look up and you have more problems. I just understood that and chose my moments carefully and tried to stay away from those environments where money was valued over human beings. And anytime I found myself in those environments, I was miserable. Like literally miserable. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself and let people understand why I'm the way I am, and not to feel sorry for me and not to blame anybody that was in my life for not being closer to me, because I didn't want them around a good portion of the time. I wanted to do things my own way. So it's pretty much what I got to say. My name's BDO44. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out.